Welcome back to Inside Gaming for Sunday. We have some Doom news today.
Is it Doom Eternal?
No, it's not Doom Eternal, actually. It's just regular Doom.
Yeah, Doom was released in 2016.
No, not that Doom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, the 1993 Doom.
Oh.
From like 30 years ago.
Wow, how timely of us.
Yeah, so Doom and Doom 2, the old ones, again, just
Cruise Control.
got big updates courtesy of Bethesda, who now owns id Software, and therefore the Doom franchise.
Big updates. There was also a trailer for Doom Eternal that dropped last Tuesday, but before we talk about that, let's talk about these updates.
Ooh, yeah, the updates only apply to their 25th anniversary release. So if you're still playing on DOS, it might be time to, upgrade, invest in a new PC. Why is Bethesda still bothering to update a game that's almost 30 years old?
Why indeed? Some of the more cynical people out there have speculated that these updates are an effort on Bethesda's part to make up for its really crappy PR lately.
Just f***ed up at every turn. So Fallout 76 was a huge disaster, and with each announcement or update, Bethesda somehow manages to further shoot themselves in the foot.
Somehow they have more feet.
Yeah, they just keep finding new feet to shoot.
Yeah, on top of the game being almost wholly rejected by fans, probably because it's boring and not fun.
Yeah,
that
so
might
two
be
things
it.
you want.
Oh, what
in
a
game.
thinker. Bethesda has made some bizarre choices during the post-release phase.
Yeah, so the Wastelanders update was delayed. They introduced Fallout First, a monthly subscription service aimed at further monetizing the people who are actually on board with the game.
First offered features that people felt like should have been in the game already and locked them behind a paywall.
Ooh, yeah, and on top of that, those features weren't really what was promised either.
We're shooting a dead horse in the foot here at the point. But the private servers were most definitely not very private.
Oh, yikes.
Sorry, Todd.
Yeah, they were used, already looted, NPCs were dead. So other games like Rage 2 and Wolfenstein Youngblood pretty much both got a resounding meh from fans and critics. And the only games currently slated for release in 2020 are Commander Keen, a children's game, Doom Eternal, and a re-release of Doom 64. I think that is a pre-release bonus for Doom Eternal, so.
Makes sense. As one of the major players in the industry, Bethesda is no doubt used to having criticism heaped on it time and time again. But as of right now, they don't have anything to point to and say, see, we don't suck. Please be nice to us.
We love you.
Come on, we got
Give us a
Andrew
kiss,
WK. So are these Doom updates just their way of saying sorry and trying to reclaim some goodwill from fans?
Well, the re-releases were announced in a kind of one of those, it's available to play right now.
Oh my God.
It's already on your computer.
Look below your seats.
Yeah, one of those moves at QuakeCon 2019, a time when Bethesda was still reeling from the failure of Fallout 76. Yeah. So it's certainly possible.
The games did pretty well, but the release for this too was bungled.
Yeah, and I mean, they did well. They're also only $5 each, so. But players had to sign up for a Slayers Club account in order to play. This was a problem that Bethesda said was a mistake, and they rectified it shortly after release.
While the original Doom games are beloved, and it's cool that they've been optimized for console, they weren't exactly difficult to play before the re-release.
Yeah, not at all. Doom is famously playable on every device with a screen, including refrigerators, cameras, cars, and ATMs. It's also been available for free from a million different sources for like at least 15, 20 years.
Pretty sure you can play it in a browser, right?
Yes, you
They're
can.
like a dedicated.
You can.
Okay.
Yeah.
The main difference here is that the new updates bring an official, polished experience to people on console or PC who don't want to mess around with mods to up their frame rate or graphics.
Yeah, it's really definitely more of a console thing here, I think. So speaking of mods, let's talk about what got added. The one you've probably seen around the most is that sweet 60 FPS. The game originally ran at 35 FPS, and it had some kind of weird choppiness to it, all the stuff you'd expect from a game that came out in 1993. So being able to play at 60 is a big improvement.
Also added are quick saves and loads. It's a nice feature to have, but be careful. The amount of times I've accidentally quick saved with one health bar and, unbeknownst to me, a bullet 2 inches from my head. Ooh, well, it stresses me out. Yeah, just thinking about it. The last big update is the inclusion of add-ons. Ooh,
yeah.
Add me, daddy.
So depending on how Bethesda handles it, this could be the coolest part of the update. Doom has been a major player in the modding scene since its release, and there are countless WADs, that's what Doom mod files are called, out there to download for free.
Bethesda is curating which mods you can actually download, and at the time of writing, there were only 3 available. One of those 3 is Sigil, an unofficial sequel to Doom 2 created by one of the original Doom creators, John Romero.
Yeah, the other 2 are the WADs that make up Final Doom, which was a standalone release from 1996, levels developed by other studios.
Bethesda has said that more mods will be added, but don't expect any of those weird Simpsons or Seinfeld mods.
Those are so good though. Overall, this is a great way to play Doom, especially if you're on console. The updates don't really make the game feel any more modern. It's still definitely a 30-year-old game, Doom, but it's a nice quality of life touch-up that could help introduce the game to people who are too young or, not even born yet when the games came out.
Looking at you, Gen X.
Looking at you.
Or Z.
Right? What year were you born?
79. Speaking of which, they weirdly hold up really well. It's initially jarring that you don't have control over the Y-axis, but you get used to it pretty quickly. The basic gameplay is exploring a level looking for keys to reach the exit, but each level is packed with secrets. Ooh. What have we here?
If you're feeling mischievous. A lot of old games are tough to play because the controls or gameplay are just completely bizarre and clunky by today's standards. Look at games like System Shock or GoldenEye. Both are really good games, loved by everyone who played them, but good God are the controls terrible in those games. They are so bad that it's really tough to try and go back and play them if you're using the original control scheme.
It's like a rough middle ground because you can go back to the 8-bit and like Doom's era games and it's like very cool. And you try to play a Tomb Raider and it's like, a bad game.
They're really still working it all out.
Developers were still in that time trying to figure out what worked and what didn't. And Doom doesn't have this problem because it is so simple.
Yeah, so you move, shoot, open doors. That's basically it. There's like 4 buttons that you need. So sort of like how Mario platformers are just as playable today as they were when they released. It's kind of that thing where the game is old enough and simple enough that it still has a kind of timeless fun about it.
And Doom 2016 added retro levels as unlockables, but they still used the new engine, and the player and monsters were all assets from the main game. It was just the levels that looked the same.
In addition, the new abilities pretty much negated a lot of the old level design. All the new character models looked very weird and anachronistic in the retro levels.
I mean, it was cool. It was kind of cool, but you find yourself losing interest in them pretty quickly, when you can go back and play Doom and Doom 2 every so often and never get bored with them.
Yeah, speaking of replayability, where the hell's my Chex Quest re-release? That was a game. Oh, you with Chex Quest?
No, I played a Captain Crunch Berries
Oh
game.
yeah, that was a good one too.
With the like crunchling on the skateboard, like you race a turtle. Famously quick creatures.
It's no secret that Doom is widely regarded as one of the most important franchises in video game history, but what is so impressive about the franchise is that of the main entries, there isn't really a single dud. Each one manages to kind of push the series in new ways and isn't afraid to try new things.
Yeah, speaking of which, there was some more news last week.
Yeah, that's right. We finally got another trailer for Doom Eternal, and it still looks cool as hell.
Doomy.
I don't know if they showed off a bunch of new stuff really, but
no, it just looks fucking cool.
Looks great.
I mean, like big giant robots.
Yep, that's all you need.
Plane and the Liberty Bell kind of in tatters. The gameplay looks pretty much the same as the 2016 reboot, which is a good thing, with some new upgrades like a grappling hook, new enemies, and an invasion mode, and that's great. That's awesome.
You don't need to with it. It's beautiful and perfect.
If it ain't broke. More sequels should be like Doom or Hitman. Granted, Eternal hasn't come out yet, but it looks like they stuck with the formula.
I think so, yeah. So in fact, there's a good chance that these updates for classic Doom are part of a larger marketing stunt to get people excited about Doom Eternal.
The game is only a few months out, and Bethesda really needs it to be a hit.
Oof, yeah, getting Doom in the news in any way is a good way to drum up excitement. So another way, though, that Bethesda could be using this to its advantage, and it's something, oh yeah, really. And it's similar to something that Nintendo does.
Yeah, so whenever there's a new Smash Bros. Character announced, Nintendo, and I didn't know this, Nintendo puts the game on its online service for the Switch, usually with an option to skip ahead to the relevant boss or stage that's being added, so that new players can get some context as to who these new characters are.
Yes.
Which is really cool. And maybe Bethesda thinks that players will want to refamiliarize themselves with the old school Doom once the new game arrives. Is somebody on the roof?
It's Santa.
Oh my god! If you've never played Doom, you should give it a shot. There's probably no game more influential. There might be a few that are as influential, but I don't think there's anything more influential than Doom.
Well, Don't Wake Daddy made
Other
great
than,
strides.
well, yeah, that's a big one. Yeah.
The smooth first-person combat, extreme for the time, violence, and level design influenced pretty much everything that came after.
Yeah, it was such a major shift in the industry that most first-person shooters were just called Doom clones for years and years. I would just play it at my grandpa's house. My grandpa had Doom. That's how popular it was.
And how easy it is to run.
My grandpa, who has never played a game in his entire life, other than I think he played Wolfenstein and Doom for some reason.
Big id head?
I guess so.
Yeah.
I don't think he's continued following them.
It's for grandpas.
He played a lot of Doom.
Yeah, I mean, you're the Doom guy.
Yes,
I'm
I'm
excited
very
that you've
excited.
gotten an update to the classic game
Thank you.
that makes you want to be here.
I played
on this
it.
Mortal Coil.
I was playing it yesterday, capturing it for work, Autumn.
I saw him doing
Tell me more.
It was for work
Yeah?
purposes that I was playing the game.
it. We're professional gamers.
You
What?
can't fire me unless you have proof that it was for recreational purposes. So yeah, that's your Doom news for today. I'm sure we'll have a lot more coming up as we get closer and closer to Doom Eternal. Ooh, I'm so excited. So keep watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye!
Hey everyone, welcome back to Inside Gaming Reviews. We're reviewing Wolfenstein Youngblood today. I'm joined by Alana and Caden and Nick over in Austin.